What if a simple touch could drain your energy and block the breakthrough meant for you? Before the 21 September eclipse, your aura is fragile, and not everyone's hands are safe. In this video, you'll learn why saying no to touch right now protects your destiny, strengthens your spirit, and prepares you for the cycle ahead. In the days leading up to an eclipse, many spiritual traditions describe this period as a thin space, a moment when the boundaries between the seen and unseen grow delicate. This isn't just poetic language, it reflects the very real sense of energetic fragility that sensitive souls often feel before such cosmic events. Think of your aura like a protective shield. Most of the time, it functions like a sturdy barrier, keeping external energy at a safe distance. But as the eclipse draws closer, that barrier becomes thinner, more permeable, almost as if the universe itself is asking you to prepare for change by lowering your defenses. This fragility isn't a weakness, it's a recalibration. Your energy field is aligning with a massive shift, which requires openness, but also careful awareness. Ancient cultures instinctively recognized this. Many communities observed fasting, silence, or retreat during eclipses, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. They understood that an eclipse was never just an astronomical event, it was a cosmic reset. In Vedic traditions, people were advised to avoid eating or even going outside during eclipses to keep their energy pure. Similarly, in Mayan and Egyptian practices, eclipses were viewed as portals, moments when the heavens opened and reset the balance between light and shadow. In every case, the guidance was consistent: step back, protect your inner world, and let the sky do its work. On a personal level, you might notice subtle changes even before the eclipse is visible. Sleep may feel lighter or more restless. You might feel emotionally raw, suddenly sensitive to small shifts in people's moods. Some chosen ones even report heightened intuition, dreams that feel more vivid, a stronger gut sense about decisions, or a strange pressure in the atmosphere. These sensations are not random. They are signals that your energy body is tuning itself like an instrument before a performance. If you're not careful, this tuning can be disrupted by unnecessary interactions, especially through physical touch. It's helpful to compare this to a healing wound. Imagine your skin when it's freshly cut. It's tender, vulnerable, and still forming new tissue. If someone pokes or presses on it, it can reopen or delay healing. Your aura during the eclipse window is much the same, in a state of healing, clearing, and preparing. Protecting it from interference ensures that the process completes smoothly, without setbacks. This is why ancient wisdom and modern intuition agree. The eclipse window is not the time to let just anyone close. When you honor this fragility, you're not being overly cautious. You're stepping into alignment with cosmic timing. The eclipse is preparing to close one cycle and open another, and your energy needs to be intact to fully receive that transition. By recognizing your own sensitivity, you give yourself permission to move gently, guard your space, and let the universe's reset unfold without interruption. That awareness itself is a sign of strength, proof that you are walking the path of the chosen. Every human being carries more than just flesh and bones. We are fields of energy, radiating vibrations that shift depending on our emotions, thoughts, and spiritual state. When two people touch, whether it's a hug, a handshake, or even a brief brush of the shoulder, those fields overlap. Energy is exchanged silently and invisibly, but powerfully. Before an ordinary day, this exchange might feel small and manageable. But during a window like the new moon and partial solar eclipse on 21 September, that transfer becomes amplified. Your aura is highly receptive, like an open window on a windy day, and anything carried by others can easily flow into your space. Modern science even offers subtle glimpses of this reality. The skin is not just a physical surface. It is an organ alive with electrical activity, sensitive to frequencies and signals. When touched, your nervous system registers not only pressure, but also the emotional tone of the contact, comfort, anxiety, or even aggression. Spiritually, that sensation goes further. Someone's hidden resentment, fear, or doubt can slip past words and enter you through touch. You've likely experienced this already. One hug leaves you calm and recharged, while another leaves you unsettled, heavy, or inexplicably drained. During the eclipse, that difference matters more than ever. Your body and spirit are in recalibration, preparing for a new cycle. Just as a computer updating its system is vulnerable to interruptions, your energy system during this time is more impressionable. If someone carries unresolved anger, jealousy, or negativity, a single touch may transfer that vibration to you. And because the eclipse amplifies whatever energies are present, the effect won't just be momentary. It could linger, echoing in your mood, your clarity, and even your decisions in the days to follow. This is why spiritual teachers and ancient traditions often emphasized physical boundaries during cosmic transitions. They understood that touch isn't harmless. It's like passing an energetic baton, whether you want to receive it or not. Imagine standing in front of a painting. If you brush it lightly with your finger, you leave behind oil and residue. Over time, repeated touches can dull the painting's surface. The same is true for your aura. Every touch leaves an imprint. Most days, you can cleanse and reset without much effort, but during the new moon and eclipse, those imprints sink deeper, embedding themselves in the fragile layers of your energy field. So in these critical days before 21 September, awareness is your greatest protection. Guarding your energy isn't about isolating yourself in fear, it's about respecting the sacred process happening within you. The new moon is about planting seeds, the eclipse about closing old cycles. Together, they form a doorway, and only you decide what energy is allowed to pass through that doorway with you. By being mindful of touch, you ensure that the only vibration you carry forward is your own, pure, aligned, and ready for breakthrough. When we think of danger to our energy, our minds often go to outsiders, strangers, co-workers, or people we don't trust. But the truth is, the most potent energetic traps rarely come from those outside circles. More often, they arrive through the hands of those closest to us, family, friends, or even a partner. Why? Because these are the people we naturally lower our guard with. We allow their touch without hesitation, forgetting that love doesn't automatically mean alignment. This doesn't mean that the people around you are malicious. Most of the time, they don't even realize what they're carrying. Think about it. Someone you care about might be stressed, worried about finances, or overwhelmed with fear. When they hug you, they unintentionally offload a portion of that heavy energy onto you. You walk away wondering why you suddenly feel anxious, irritated, or tired, without connecting it to that simple moment of contact. During ordinary days, you might shake it off with a good night's sleep, but during the eclipse window, that transfer hits deeper and lingers longer. The eclipse on 21 September is not just another cosmic event, it's a magnifier. Everything good or bad gets intensified. That means even well-meaning touches can become spiritual distractions. This is what makes the trap so subtle. Because you trust the person, you don't notice how your aura is being influenced. That trust creates a blind spot. And blind spots are exactly where spiritual tests like to hide. History and scripture are filled with examples of betrayal coming from within. Judas was one of Christ's closest followers. Julius Caesar fell not at the hands of distant enemies, but under the knife of Brutus, whom he considered a brother. These stories remind us that spiritual sabotage often wears the mask of familiarity. Before breakthroughs, energies of doubt, fear, or envy can cling to those around you, and through a simple touch, they become yours to carry. The trap is not only about negative energy, it's about distraction. A touch can anchor you to old cycles, old emotions, or relationships that the eclipse is trying to help you release. Instead of moving forward with clarity, you end up entangled in someone else's vibration. It's like trying to run a race while carrying another person's backpack. You're slowed, burdened, and sometimes tempted to stop altogether. Recognizing this truth doesn't mean pushing away your loved ones. It means becoming more discerning. You can still love them, still care for them, but with the wisdom to protect your energy during these fragile days. The eclipse is your reset, not theirs. By being aware of these hidden traps, you free yourself to receive what the universe intends for you without interference from energies that were never yours to carry in the first place. Every eclipse throughout history has been seen as more than just a cosmic alignment. It's been viewed as a trial, a moment when the heavens cast a shadow to see who remains steady in their light. The new moon and partial solar eclipse on 21 September carries that same weight. For the chosen ones, this is not a random event. It is a carefully timed spiritual checkpoint designed to test your discipline, awareness, and commitment to your higher path. Think of it like an exam you've been preparing for unconsciously all year. Every challenge, every temptation, and every delay you've faced has been building toward this moment. And now, as the sun darkens and the sky shifts, the universe asks one simple question: can you hold your ground when the world around you shakes? The test isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. Touch becomes one of the most overlooked parts of this test. Why? Because it seems small, harmless, even loving. Yet it's in the smallest acts that the greatest tests are often hidden. During the eclipse window, when your aura is fragile and your spirit is being recalibrated, every interaction matters. A casual touch may carry doubt that clouds your vision, or an embrace might transfer fear that makes you hesitate on a choice you were meant to take boldly. The universe watches, not with punishment in mind, but with purpose. It wants to see if you can discern what is yours to carry and what is not. Distraction is the enemy of breakthrough, and tests often arrive disguised as comfort. You may notice that people suddenly need more of your attention, or they draw closer right before the eclipse. It's not a coincidence. Spiritual interference often comes through familiar routes. Someone insists on holding your hand, a friend reaches out to console you, or an old relationship resurfaces just in time to tug at your emotions. These are not random events. They are distractions designed to test whether you can stay focused on your own alignment, even when it feels uncomfortable to say no. This is why ancient cultures prepared so carefully for eclipses. They understood that the shadow across the sun was not a threat but a mirror. It reflected the inner shadows, the doubts, attachments, and distractions that surface before transformation. By practicing silence, fasting, or retreat, they passed their tests by proving mastery over their impulses. Your test may not look the same, but the principle is identical. Will you protect your energy when it matters most? Will you trust the process enough to prioritize clarity over comfort? Passing this test doesn't just shield you for one day, it sets the tone for the entire cycle that begins with the new moon. And if you succeed, you step into that new chapter lighter, clearer, and more aligned with the destiny that was always waiting for you. One of the most important skills a chosen one can develop is learning how to recognize when their aura has been touched, weakened, or infiltrated. Most people never notice these subtle shifts because they confuse them with ordinary stress or fatigue. But during the days before the 21 September new moon and partial solar eclipse, those shifts are magnified, and ignoring them can cost you clarity, energy, and even the opportunity the eclipse is preparing to unlock. The first signs often appear in your physical body. You might feel sudden fatigue that doesn't match your activity level, like the energy has been siphoned right out of you. Headaches, pressure around the temples, or a heavy sensation in the chest are common indicators that your aura is absorbing weight that doesn't belong to you. Some even feel their stomach tighten or experience unusual dizziness shortly after contact with another person. These are not random symptoms. They are your body's way of signaling that your field has been compromised. The second layer shows up in your emotions. You may feel irritated, anxious, or sad without any clear cause. One moment you're at peace, the next you're carrying emotions that don't feel like yours. This is a classic sign of energy infiltration. For example, if a friend touched you while secretly carrying worry or resentment, you might find yourself restless later in the day, replaying negative thoughts or feeling emotions that don't align with your actual circumstances. The eclipse period amplifies this emotional transfer, making it even harder to separate what's yours from what is. Then come the spiritual signals, the most subtle yet the most telling. A sense of heaviness around your energy field, feeling off, or sensing that your thoughts are clouded. Some people describe it as losing their inner light temporarily, like walking in a fog. Others experience disrupted intuition, gut instincts feel weaker, dreams turn chaotic, or inner guidance becomes drowned out by noise. These disruptions aren't accidents. They are the fingerprints left behind when someone else's vibration seeps into your aura. Here's a simple example. Imagine you're having a good morning, grounded and peaceful. Then someone hugs you, and within minutes you feel drained, distracted, or oddly irritable. That is the exact moment your aura has been touched. The problem isn't always malicious intent, it's often unconscious. But whether intentional or not, the effect is the same. Your clarity is compromised, your energy diluted. Recognizing these signs is the first step to reclaiming your power. Once you become aware, You can pause, breathe, and cleanse your field before the infiltration embeds itself deeper. During this eclipse window, your awareness becomes your shield. By noticing the signals early, you refuse to carry burdens that aren't yours and keep your path clear for the transformation waiting on the other side of the eclipse. Among all spiritual souls, empaths are the ones who feel the coming eclipse most intensely. If you are an empath, you don't just observe energy, you absorb it. You pick up moods from a room, emotions from a conversation, and vibrations even from a stranger's glance. Normally, this gift can feel like both a blessing and a burden. But in the days leading up to the 21 September new moon and partial solar eclipse, that gift becomes more delicate than ever. The reason is simple. Empaths operate like finely tuned antennas. While most people only register obvious signals, empaths sense the whispers, the unspoken fears, the suppressed anger, the quiet sadness hidden beneath someone's smile. Before an eclipse, the energy around the planet intensifies. Cosmic cycles stir up emotions, trigger endings, and force unresolved issues to surface. This means that empaths are not only carrying their own inner recalibration, but also unconsciously catching waves of everyone else's turbulence. The smallest touch, a handshake, a brush of the arm, or even sitting too close, can feel like a floodgate opening. Many empaths notice physical symptoms during this time: exhaustion that feels bone-deep, sudden mood swings, or even feeling wired and restless without cause. Spiritually, it may feel like your protective walls have thinned. You might wake up from vivid, chaotic dreams or sense that your aura is wide open to influences beyond your control. These are not signs of weakness. They are indicators of how sensitive your spirit truly is to the collective field. The vulnerability of empaths is also what makes them targets for unconscious energy dumping. Friends, family, or even strangers might seek comfort in your presence, not realizing that their touch or closeness transfers their heaviness onto you. They leave lighter, but you carry the weight. During the eclipse window, that weight multiplies. What might normally wash off you by morning can now linger for days, clouding your clarity and distracting you from your own alignment. Awareness transforms vulnerability into power. If you recognize yourself as an empath, your responsibility is not to harden your heart, but to strengthen your boundaries. Simple practices, like politely limiting physical contact, visualizing a shield of light before leaving your home, or retreating into solitude when you feel overwhelmed, can protect your energy. Even small rituals, such as salt baths, grounding walks, or intentional prayers, help clear away what doesn't belong to you. Remember this: your sensitivity is not a curse, it is a compass. The fact that you feel so much is proof of your connection to the unseen. But to walk through this 21 September eclipse empowered, you must honor that sensitivity as sacred. Protecting your aura doesn't make you distant, it makes you ready. The universe isn't asking you to stop feeling, it's asking you to feel wisely. Touch is often seen as harmless, even comforting. A pat on the back, a handshake, or a quick hug, these are gestures society teaches us to accept without question. But during the fragile days leading to the 21 September new moon and partial solar eclipse, casual touch carries consequences far deeper than most people realize. What seems small and innocent in the physical world often leaves lasting imprints in the spiritual one. The danger lies in what's hidden beneath the surface. Every touch carries intent, whether conscious or unconscious. A handshake can be a silent act of dominance, transferring energy that says, "I have control." A pat on the back can carry subtle judgment, even if delivered with a smile. A hug, though warm on the outside, can pass on unresolved emotions like envy, doubt, or fear. These micro-exchanges happen quickly and often go unnoticed, but they seep into your aura. And in this sensitive eclipse window, those imprints sink deeper, taking root in ways that can derail your clarity. Think about how you've felt after casual interactions. Have you ever walked away from someone feeling strangely drained, restless, or unsettled, even though nothing bad happened? That's the dark side of casual touch. It bypasses your logical mind and speaks directly to your energy. Most people chalk it up to stress or overthinking, but in truth, it's your aura carrying someone else's unprocessed energy. The eclipse magnifies this exchange. Your aura is recalibrating, preparing for a reset, which means it is more absorbent than usual. A simple brush of someone's hand on your shoulder during this time can leave you carrying their fear of the future. A hug from someone weighed down by resentment may transfer their heaviness straight into your heart. The The physical contact seems fleeting, but the energetic residue lingers, shaping your mood, thoughts, and even the choices you make in the days that follow. This is why ancient teachers warned against casual contact during sacred or transitional times. They knew that touch is never just touch. It is communication without words, an exchange of essence. In ordinary life, you might cleanse this energy easily through rest, prayer, or grounding. But before an eclipse, when the veil between endings and beginnings is thin, those casual touches can anchor you to old cycles you are meant to release. Awareness here is your shield. You don't need to fear touch, but you do need to discern it. Ask yourself, does this person's presence leave me lighter or heavier? Do I feel stronger or more clouded after their contact? By being intentional about who you allow into your physical space during this eclipse season, you protect not just your body, but your destiny. The eclipse is your doorway to transformation. Don't let casual touch drag old shadows through that doorway with you. If there was ever a time when energy vampires become more active, it is in the days before an eclipse. The 21 September new moon and partial solar eclipse creates a powerful surge of cosmic energy, and sensitive souls, especially chosen ones, become radiant beacons of light. But light always attracts attention, and not all of it is positive. Those who are unconsciously starved of energy are drawn to you during this period, seeking to feed off your aura. Energetic vampirism doesn't always look sinister. It rarely involves someone openly wishing you harm. More often, it's subtle, disguised as neediness, clinginess, or even affection. A person might insist on holding your hand, leaning against you, or hugging you just a little too long. On the surface, it feels like love or comfort. But beneath that surface, a transfer is happening. Your high-frequency energy flows out while their heaviness, fear, or emptiness flows in. You walk away tired, and they walk away strangely refreshed. The eclipse window magnifies this dynamic because your aura is open and recalibrating. Imagine your energy field as a battery in the middle of recharging. Normally, it has a protective case. But right now, that case is thinner, and anyone who plugs into you through touch, proximity, or even intense eye contact can drain what you've been restoring. This is why encounters that might normally feel harmless suddenly feel exhausting in the days before the eclipse. Not all energy vampires know what they're doing. Some are simply overwhelmed souls who instinctively gravitate towards stronger energy fields, but others, consciously or not, exploit this pattern. They might appear right when you're weakest, seeking closeness, reassurance, or validation. And because the chosen ones naturally radiate healing energy, they see you as a source of relief. The problem is, their temporary relief becomes your lasting burden. Consider the workplace colleague who always needs to stand too close, the friend who insists on hugging you when they're clearly distressed, or even a family member who won't let go of your hand while venting their worries. These interactions are not random, they are forms of energetic feeding. And during this eclipse season, they become traps designed to keep you from stepping into clarity and breakthrough. The key is not to grow cold or unkind, but to grow discerning. You can still care for others without becoming their fuel source. Simple steps like maintaining physical boundaries, shortening interactions when you feel drained, or cleansing yourself afterward with prayer, meditation, or even water rituals can protect your energy. Remember, your power is most attractive right before breakthrough, and that's exactly why energy vampires are drawn to you now. The eclipse is a test of ownership. Will you allow others to siphon your light, or will you guard it until the moment it's meant to ignite your next chapter? By choosing the latter, you affirm your role as a chosen one, aware, strong, and untouchable by those who would weaken your path. Awareness alone is powerful, but action is what keeps your energy truly safe during fragile windows like the 21 September new moon and partial solar eclipse. Guarding your spiritual field doesn't require fear or paranoia, it requires intention. Think of your aura as your sacred home. You wouldn't leave your front door unlocked during a storm. In the same way, you shouldn't leave your energy wide open when cosmic currents are at their strongest. The first step is setting physical boundaries. This can feel awkward at first, especially with people you care about, but it is necessary. You can politely decline unnecessary touch without offending anyone. A simple gesture, placing your hand over your heart instead of shaking hands, or offering a smile instead of a hug, creates respectful distance while still showing warmth. By doing this, you affirm to yourself and others that your energy is not for casual exchange right now. Second, embrace protective visualization. Before leaving your home, Take a moment to imagine yourself surrounded by a sphere of light, golden, white, or even violet. This mental image acts like an energetic shield. When someone tries to touch or influence you, their vibration meets the light first, instead of piercing your aura. Spiritual teachers across cultures have long used similar practices because the mind's intent shapes the energy field in real, measurable ways. Third, incorporate cleansing rituals. Even with boundaries, some energy will still brush against you. Cleansing helps release what doesn't belong. This can be as simple as taking a salt bath, burning incense or sage, or even washing your hands with the conscious intention of letting negativity flow away. Water, in particular, has been seen as an energy purifier across traditions. A short grounding walk barefoot on natural earth can also reset your field instantly. Fourth, use spiritual anchors like prayer, affirmations, or sacred objects. Wearing a small piece of jewelry with personal meaning, carrying a crystal, or keeping a protective verse close to your heart serves as a reminder that you are covered. These aren't magic tricks. They are tools that align your mind and spirit with protection, which strengthens your field naturally. Finally, practice disciplined solitude. You don't have to cut off every interaction, but be mindful of how much time you spend in others' energy before the eclipse. Protect your quiet hours, read, meditate, or sit in silence. This solitude isn't isolation, it's recharging. It's creating space for your own vibration to stabilize without interference. Guarding your spiritual field is not about fear, it's about empowerment. By being intentional, you send a clear signal to the universe. I honor this transition, and I will walk into the new cycle fully aligned. The eclipse is a reset, and your protected aura is the vessel that will carry you safely into the chapter waiting on the other side. In a world that thrives on constant noise and endless connection, silence and solitude can feel strange, even uncomfortable. Yet, in the days leading to the 21 September new moon and partial solar eclipse, silence is not just peace, it is power. Solitude is not loneliness, it is alignment. These two forces act as invisible shields that strengthen your aura when it is most fragile. Silence has always been regarded as sacred in spiritual traditions. Prophets, sages, and mystics often retreated into stillness before major revelations. Why? Because silence amplifies the inner voice. When the outer world grows quiet, the whispers of intuition become louder. During the eclipse window, your spiritual system is already recalibrating. Noise, drama, and endless conversations only scatter your focus. But silence creates space for your energy to settle, to anchor, and to prepare for the shift. Solitude works hand in hand with silence. It isn't about cutting yourself off from the world forever, it's about choosing intentional space when the timing matters most. Think of solitude like a spiritual detox. Just as your body feels lighter after fasting, your spirit feels lighter when you step away from other people's constant influence. In the days before the eclipse, every interaction carries weight. Too much exposure can clutter your field with energies that aren't yours. Solitude ensures you're carrying only your own vibration into the reset. This doesn't mean you need to escape to the mountains or sit in darkness for days. Even small acts of solitude, taking a quiet walk without your phone, sitting in meditation for 15 minutes, or enjoying a meal in silence, create ripples of strength. Each moment you spend alone with your thoughts and your breath is a moment of recalibration, a way of centering your soul before the universe's great alignment. Many chosen ones resist solitude because it can stir discomfort. When everything external goes quiet, the inner noise becomes louder. Unresolved emotions, buried doubts, and old fears rise to the surface. But this is exactly the gift of solitude. It reveals what you've been avoiding. By facing those shadows in stillness, you clear space for light to enter during the eclipse. Silence and solitude are not punishments. They are invitations to return to yourself, to strengthen your inner foundation so no one else can shake it. When the sky darkens on 21 September, the world may feel unsettled, but your silence will anchor you, your solitude will empower you. In those quiet moments, you'll find the clarity and strength to step boldly into the cycle ahead. As the 21 September new moon and partial solar eclipse approaches, many people notice old connections resurfacing, relationships you thought were finished, emotions you believed were healed, or even people from the past suddenly reaching out. This isn't coincidence. It's the resurfacing of spiritual contracts and karmic triggers. Before a major reset, the universe often allows unfinished energy to reappear, not to trap you, but to test if you are ready to move forward unbound. A spiritual contract is an unseen agreement between souls, often formed before this lifetime, to teach lessons or resolve karmic debts. These contracts can feel magnetic, pulling you back to certain people or situations even when they no longer serve your growth. During an eclipse, when the veil between past and present thins, these contracts can reactivate. That random message from an ex, or that sudden urge to reconnect with someone who once hurt you, those are karmic triggers surfacing, testing whether you'll repeat the cycle or finally release it. The danger lies in physical closeness. Old contracts often use touch as a hook. A handshake, a hug, or even sitting too close can reignite dormant energy cords. It feels familiar, even comforting, but that comfort is deceptive. It's the pull of old karmic threads trying to reattach themselves just as your soul prepares for freedom. If you allow it, you risk carrying old lessons into a new cycle, delaying the breakthrough meant for you. Think of it like moving into a new home, but dragging bags of trash from the old one with you. The eclipse is offering you a chance to start fresh, but karmic triggers test whether you'll walk through the doorway empty-handed or still burdened. This is why so many people feel tested by past relationships during eclipse seasons. It's not punishment, it's purification. The key is recognition. When old energy resurfaces, pause before engaging. Ask yourself, is this pulling me forward or dragging me back? Pay attention to your body's response. If contact with this person makes you feel drained, anxious, or unsettled, that's a karmic trigger revealing itself. Resisting doesn't mean rejecting the person, it means honoring the lesson without re-entering the contract. You can consciously release these ties through intention. Prayer, meditation, or even a spoken affirmation like, "I release all energy that no longer serves my highest path," signals to the universe that you're ready to break the cycle. The eclipse is your moment to cut cords, to say goodbye to contracts that have completed their purpose. Remember this, karmic triggers don't appear to harm you, they appear to confirm your growth. If you can recognize them, resist the pull of old cycles, and choose clarity over comfort, you'll walk into the post-eclipse chapter free, unbound, and aligned with the destiny you were always meant to claim. In the days leading to the 21 September new moon and partial solar eclipse, distance becomes one of the greatest spiritual tools you can use. Not the distance born of fear or rejection, but intentional distance, a conscious choice to step back so your energy can remain clear, balanced, and strong. This kind of distance isn't about isolating yourself from the world forever. It's about recognizing that not every hand that reaches for you should be held during a time of transition. Intentional distance means creating space between yourself and influences that could disrupt your alignment. Think of it as clearing the air before planting a new seed. The soil of your life, the aura, the spirit, the mind, needs to be free of weeds and clutter so that what you're preparing to manifest under the eclipse has the best chance to take root. By stepping back, even briefly, you allow your own vibration to dominate, instead of being diluted by the constant pull of others, emotions, expectations, and energies. History is full of examples of distance used wisely. Mystics retreated to caves or deserts before major revelations. Prophets withdrew into silence before receiving divine messages. Even great leaders would often step away before making monumental decisions, understanding that clarity comes not in the crowd, but in the quiet. These weren't acts of selfishness, they were acts of preparation. The same principle applies to you now. The eclipse is your reset, and distance ensures that reset happens on your terms. Practically, intentional distance can take many forms. You might limit unnecessary social gatherings in the days before the eclipse, choosing instead to rest, reflect, or pray. You might avoid physical touch or closeness, even with those you love, not because you don't care, but because you're guarding your energy. Even setting digital boundaries, stepping back from constant messages or calls, creates the space you need to strengthen your spiritual field. The challenge is that distance can make others uncomfortable. They may not understand why you're pulling back or may interpret it as rejection. But the truth is, intentional distance is not a wall, it's a filter. It allows you to decide what enters your space and what doesn't. you can still love, support, and care for people while keeping your energy sacred. The key is to communicate with kindness while standing firm in your boundaries. By practicing intentional distance during this eclipse window, you are not abandoning anyone, you are affirming your readiness to step into the next cycle whole and uncorrupted. Distance gives you perspective, it restores your strength, and it ensures that when the shadow passes and the light returns, you emerge steady, empowered, and aligned. This is not avoidance. This is strategy, and strategy is what allows a chosen one to walk through the eclipse with clarity and victory. So far, we've explored the fragility of your aura before the 21 September new moon and partial solar eclipse, and why boundaries matter more than ever. But what if you ignore this wisdom? What if you allow someone to touch you during this delicate window, thinking it's harmless, thinking it won't matter? The truth is, every touch carries consequences, and during the eclipse season, those consequences multiply. The most immediate effect is energetic drain. You may feel fine in the moment, but soon after, exhaustion can set in like a sudden weight pressing down on you. It isn't the kind of tiredness that a nap can fix. It's a soul-deep fatigue, as though your inner fire has been dimmed. This happens because your aura, already in a fragile state, has absorbed energy that doesn't belong to you. It's like trying to breathe clean air after someone has filled the room with smoke. Your spirit becomes clouded. Then come the emotional distortions. Perhaps you wake up with a sense of heaviness you can't explain. You might feel fear, sadness, or even anger out of nowhere. These aren't random moods, they're echoes of someone else's vibration that slipped into your energy field through touch. Worse still, because the eclipse magnifies energy, those emotions can grow louder, looping through your mind and making you believe they are your own. This can distort your clarity, leading to poor decisions or self-doubt right when you need inner strength most. There are also long-term consequences. Allowing casual or careless touch during this period can tether you to cycles you were meant to release. Imagine preparing to step through a new doorway, only to find yourself dragging invisible weights from old attachments, resentments, or fears. The eclipse is designed to reset your path, but if your aura is carrying someone else's baggage, you may step into the new cycle unprepared and burdened. This is how breakthroughs get delayed, not because the universe withheld them, but because your energy wasn't ready to receive. Another subtle danger is energetic confusion. Your intuition is your compass, especially during cosmic transitions, but when your field is infiltrated, that compass spins. You may second-guess your instincts, misread spiritual signs, or even feel disconnected from your inner voice. For a chosen one, this is the greatest loss, not trusting the inner guidance that was meant to lead you through the eclipse with confidence. Allowing touch isn't about a single hug or handshake. It's about the doors you unknowingly open. When you let someone place their energy onto you, you invite vibrations into your sacred space without discernment. Some of those vibrations can linger long after the eclipse, influencing your thoughts, emotions, and opportunities. This is why awareness is non-negotiable. By saying no to unnecessary touch, you aren't rejecting people, you are protecting your destiny. You are ensuring that when the shadow passes and the light returns, you step forward carrying only your own essence. Strong, unshaken, and aligned with the breakthrough this eclipse was designed to deliver. When the shadow passes and the light returns on the 21 September new moon and partial solar eclipse, you will not be the same person you were before. Eclipses are cosmic resets, moments where cycles close and new ones open. But whether you emerge drained or empowered depends on how well you've guarded your energy during this fragile window. If you've honored your boundaries, resisted distractions, and kept your aura clear, the eclipse becomes not just a celestial event, but a launchpad into your next chapter. The first step in emerging empowered is cleansing and renewal. After the eclipse, take time to clear any residue left in your field. This could be through meditation, prayer, journaling, or even simple rituals like bathing with salt water or sitting in nature. These practices signal to your spirit, the test is complete, and now I reset. By consciously releasing any heaviness, you ensure you're not carrying old vibrations into the new cycle. The next step is celebration of strength. Too often, we focus only on what we fear or must avoid, forgetting to acknowledge what we've achieved. If you've navigated the eclipse without letting others drain you, that's victory. That's proof of your growth and resilience. Celebrate in your own way through gratitude, creative expression, or even stillness. The act of honoring yourself amplifies your empowerment, anchoring the lesson into your spirit. Then comes realignment with destiny. The new moon energy, combined with the eclipse, creates fertile ground for intention setting. With your aura intact, your manifestations are more powerful than usual. Write down what you want to step into: goals, visions, breakthroughs. Speak them aloud. The universe is listening with heightened attention during this time. You've passed the test, and now the door is open for you to walk through with clarity and purpose. Most importantly, carry forward your boundaries. The eclipse is temporary, but the lesson it teaches is timeless. Guarding your energy is not just for cosmic events, it's a lifelong discipline. By practicing discernment in touch, silence, and solitude, you'll remain strong no matter what energetic storms come your way. To emerge empowered is to realize the eclipse was never meant to harm you. It was meant to refine you, to strip away what no longer serves, and to prove to you how powerful you truly are when you stand in your light. When you step into the days after the eclipse, do so with confidence. Walk lighter, clearer, and stronger, knowing you have not only survived the shadow but mastered it. That is the gift of this eclipse, not fear, but transformation.